How do you explain? By Stephanie Larocque. I don't know how to explain what it feels like to have everything taken from you and still be standing. People hear my story and think they understand, but they don't. Not really. They hear words like injustice, corruption, betrayal, but those words don't carry the weight of what they truly mean when they become your life. When you wake up every day in a reality that should never have existed, when you have to convince yourself to keep breathing because there's no space left to live, when everything you love, your children, your family, your home, your dignity, has been ripped away, and you're left staring into the void, knowing no one is coming to save you. That's where I am. That's where I've been. People think justice is about righting a wrong. They think if you just tell the truth loud enough, someone will hear you, someone will fix it. But I know better. I know what it's like to hand over undeniable proof and be met with silence. I know what it's like to scream and be told I'm hysterical. I know what it's like to be gaslit by an entire system, to watch people who know the truth pretend they don't because it's easier, because it keeps the wheels turning, because in their world, someone like me doesn't matter. But I do. And my children do. Jacob and Ross aren't just people I love, they are pieces of me that were torn away. They are my sons, my blood, my purpose. They were mine to protect, to raise, to love without interference, and that was stolen from me. Not because I failed them. Not because I was unfit. But because someone decided they could rewrite reality, and the system let them. Do you know what it's like to be erased from your children's lives while you're still alive? To know they've been told lies so deep, so insidious, that even if they want to reach for the truth, they don't know how? To know that every single moment, every birthday, every milestone, every ordinary day I should have spent with them, was taken from me, and I will never get it back? There is no justice for that. There is no winning. I would give up everything, every case, every fight, every ounce of so-called justice, just to have them back. Just to have one honest conversation. Just to have them look me in the eyes and see me, not the distorted version of me that was fed to them. And if you can't understand that, if you think anything else matters more, then you've never been a mother. And then there's Moji. Some people will never understand why a dog could mean so much, but Moji was mine. He was my family. My comfort when the world was too cruel. He was the last piece of love that couldn't be poisoned, that couldn't be turned against me. And even he was stolen. The way it was done, the cruelty of it, it wasn't just about taking the pet. It was about control. It was about making sure I had nothing left. It was another way of saying, you don't get to have anything of your own. But I do. And I will. The police failed me. The crown failed me. The system that pretends to care about victims, about fairness, about the truth failed me. And the worst part? They knew. They knew they were wrong. They saw the proof. They heard the recordings. They had everything they needed to stop this before it ever got to this point, and they didn't care. That's the part that haunts me. Not the mistakes, because mistakes can be fixed, but the willful choice to ignore the truth. The choice to allow my acts to weaponize the system against me. The choice to make me the problem, to silence me, to break me, instead of holding him accountable. That should scare everyone. Because if they can do this to me, they can do it to anyone. And they do. Every single day, people like me are erased, dismissed, thrown aside because it's easier than standing up to the real abusers, the real manipulators, the ones who know how to twist the system to work in their favor. I fight because I have to. Because I have no other choice. Because I refuse to let them bury me the way they want to. Because this fight isn't just about me, it's about everyone who has ever been silenced, disbelieved, and discarded. It's about making sure that the next woman, the next mother, the next survivor doesn't have to stand alone. But I don't fight for justice first. I fight for Jacob. I fight for Ross. I fight for Moji. I fight for the life that was stolen from me, for the love that should have never been taken, for the truth that I will never stop speaking. They tried to erase me. They tried to take everything. But I am still here. And I will not stop until I have my children, my dog, my home, and my life back. That was where I was. Broken. Beaten down so badly mentally, emotionally that I took the bait. I see that now. I see how I was set up, how every move was calculated to push me to the edge, to force a reaction, to make me look like the problem. And for a while, I was so deep in it. So desperate just to survive, that I couldn't see what was happening. But I did survive. And when I did, no one was more surprised than me. Something changed when I realized I was still here. When I woke up one day and understood that everything they had done, everything they had thrown at me, had failed to destroy me. I started making connections, seeing things more clearly than I ever have in my life. The emotional war? I won that. I clawed my way out of the manipulation, the gaslighting, the shame, and I conquered it. I am not the woman they tried to leave behind. I am strong, stronger than I ever knew it could be. But now, it's about justice. Now, it's about making sure the truth is not just something I know, it's something the world knows. It's about accountability. About holding the people who did this to me, who let it happen, who enabled it, responsible. Because I was wronged. I was silenced. I was stripped of my rights, my dignity, my family, and I will no longer just accept that as my reality. I am going to do everything in my power to right these wrongs legally. But make no mistake, there is damage that can never be undone. I know that. There is no scenario where I get back everything that was taken from me, no perfect ending where all of this is just erased like it never happened. What my ex-husband did to my children, what he manipulated them into believing, what he stole from their childhoods, what he imprinted onto their minds that will affect them for the rest of their lives. That is something I have to live with. And as much as I wish I could undo it, there are no guarantees. No guarantees that the truth will reach them, no guarantees that they'll ever see through the lies, no guarantees that the system will correct itself and suddenly decide to do what's right. I have accepted that. But I still have to try. Because that's who I am. Because I know the truth, and I refuse to let it die with me. Because if I don't stand up and fight for what is right, then who will?